We are ready to start your book binding. Today what you're going to need is your cover, duct tape, ruler, awl, needle, string, a binder clip, pencil, and scissors. We're going to start off with the duct tape and getting your papers. The number of papers you'll need will be on the board. It depends on which class you're in, on how many you'll need. I would do at least 2 groups of papers. You don't want too many in your group. So stack them together, fold those in half, find your center. Okay, and put those inside of each other. And we'll use those later. First part we're going to do is the duct tape. So decide what's going to be your inside or outside. For me, this will be my inside. Choose whichever color duct tape you would like, and you might need a friend for this part. So find the end. And I'm going to start taping the middle. You want to make sure to cover this crease. That's the most important part. If you have a design that you want to try to save, we can put the duct tape right along here and then more of it on this other side. That's fine, as long as it's covering the spine, because we need it to reinforce your binding. And put that right along the middle. Close as you can to the center. If it isn't perfect, it's okay. Go ahead and push that down. I'm going to make sure I have some out. I'm going to flip it over. And don't pull really hard on here because it will rip your paper. Just kind of gently fold that over. And I can feel the fold, so I'm doing it right. I'm going to put my hand there. You can have a friend help hold that for you. Smooth that out. And then all the way over back to the inside. And just over where you started. Right in there. And then go ahead and cut it. It's okay if it's not perfect. It covered my crease, and that was the goal. Go ahead and fold it in half again and crease that so you can find it. Next, we're going to put the papers in the center. We're just going to eyeball this. So you will need your bulldog clips. I suggest 2. And once you're done, go ahead and take them back up front. I don't think there's quite enough for everybody to have their own. I'm going to center that in the middle of my duct tape. So there's a little bit here and a little bit there. And I'm going to put it right in that crease and push it all the way back, and then I'm going to clip it. So I'll clip one on each side. Now I'm going to use the ruler. For our binding, we're going to do 1-inch spacing. So actually from the edge, I'm going to zoom in just a little bit for this part. I have my ruler lined up on 0. If you go ahead and mark where it says 1/2 inch, and then you can slide your ruler down to 0 and mark every inch. That makes it a little easier. Okay, and then another spot right before the edge. Okay. Then I'm going to take the awl. The awl is very sharp, so be very careful. This tip will draw blood if you stab yourself, so please don't. Instead of going straight down, what we're going to do is slide it along the table. I'm going to have my hand over here for support. I know it's up here, so I'm going to move my hand down just a little bit so I can tell that it's below that. I'm going to slide it along the table and stick it through about that far. I'm going to do that for each one. Okay, and as soon as you're done with the awl, pass that off to somebody else. Somebody else will need it too. So you have the holes. Now we're ready to get the string. For binding, traditional binding, you're going to do 3 times the length. So the way I do that is measure here, 1, 2, 3, and it can be a generous 3. If you're doing the chain stitch, so if you've done this before, I do want you to try the chain stitch, and that will be a separate video. Then you're going to wax your string. The wax will help your string stay in the binding as you're doing the binding so it doesn't slide out. Okay, and just pull it through somewhere in there, and you shouldn't have to tie this because we're not doing any heavy duty stitching. So we're going to start from the inside. If you go till you have about that much or so, you should have a generous amount, and just clip it and that'll help you hold on to it. So I'm going to go back and forth all the way down to the bottom. If you get lost, ask your neighbor to double check for you. Oops. Now that you're done with the binding, you're going to leave this last one undone because this is where we're going to tie the knot. We're going to do what's called a square knot, and a square knot will not come undone. The easiest way to know if you did it right is you have a long one and a short one. You can also do left and right, but this is a little bit easier. So if you take your short string, crisscross it on top, take your short string under, pull that tight. If you have a friend, they can hold the string for you. You're gonna do the same thing again. So you're gonna put short string on top, flip it under, and then pull it tight. One of those is gonna feel kind of weird to you, but if it lays flat like this, so you have the cross right here, makes a square, then you know you did it correctly. When you cut your strings, you're gonna go ahead and leave about an inch or so. Don't cut them too close because your knot could come undone. And if it does, you're gonna have to restring the whole thing because the strings will be too short to attach. So at this point, you're done doing the binding, and you can finish up any type of doodling, the inking, glitter, any of that type of thing that you need to on here.